I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with these boring yet essential cotton swabs from the brand Sky Organics. These are 100% pure organic cotton, and it says chlorine-free, hypoallergenic, soft, and durable. There's 375 in a pack, and I get them at Walmart. I just wanted to show them to you guys because these are my favorite cotton swabs for in the makeup room, so I don't get any like extra irritation or anything like that when I use them, especially around the eye area or if I wipe off my waterline. And I do think that has something to do with the fact that these are organic cottons, because I've used other ones in the past where I get a little bit more watery eye when I do that, and I don't have any problems with these ones right here. So I thought that I would mention them because I continually repurchase them for in here inside the beauty room to kind of use for touch-ups and stuff like that. So those are the Organics organic cotton swabs right there. And again, I got these at Walmart. And then I'm still being brave trying new foundations, and I say that because I've got really sensitive, reactive, acne-prone skin. And so when I find like a foundation that I can continually use without any irritation and stuff like that, I tend to not want to try other things because I work really hard on keeping my skin nice, and all it takes is one foundation, you know, that doesn't get along with me to have either breakouts or dryness or what have you. Anyway, so I've been being brave again, and I heard a lot about this new L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. It's a 1% pure hyaluronic acid foundation, and again, I've heard really good things about it, so I decided to pick it up, and I got the shade 1 to 2.5 in Rosy Light. So it's a 1 fluid ounce glass bottle, and then it has a dropper, and I'll pull the dropper out so you can see, you know, that it's quite liquidy. It has to be in order for it to have a dropper style packaging. Granted, a pump or a squeeze tube still would have been better, because when you put the I believe it's called a pipette back in the bottle, a lot of the times it catches on the outside. Foundation gets around the opening, so it gets quite messy. But I did use this, and it's a very light coverage, but it still looked really pretty on the skin. And by the end of the day, when I washed my face, I had 4 new blemishes. And if there was 1 or even 2, I wouldn't have thought twice about it, because again, I do have acne prone skin, and that's prone to happen every now and again. But there were 4, so that's when I know that it was this that gave me the blemishes. And then also it really gave my skin a tight feel, like it was drying, if you will. But I'm in North Dakota, and it's really cold and it's really dry, especially right now. So given that this has got the hyaluronic acid in it, and I don't think 1% pure hyaluronic acid is a lot, in my opinion. Just 1% out of everything that's in the bottle. It's not a whole ton, so it might be a combination of that and some other ingredients in here. But hyaluronic acid can actually work against your skin in the sense that the outside air is drier than your actual skin, so it can start to pull water from your skin into the air. At least that's what I have read about hyaluronic acid. So I guess I would only like go for hyaluronic acid products if your skin is dry and you're maybe in a more humid climate, or one that's not so dry like I am. It's very, very dry. I actually have to put a humidifier in my room, especially when I sleep, because it's that dry. So it did 2 things. The dryness, I would have tried it again to work with it a little bit and added a couple extra layers of moisturizer. But the breakouts, I know it was this that broke me out, so I will not be using it again. I've got those breakouts under control, so that is good. But this was just kind of it's not going to work for me. I thought it, upon initial application, that it looked pretty on the skin. Again, it's a very light coverage, and it had a slight dewiness to it, but it was very natural. And I'm just going to swatch a little drop of it right there for what it's worth. And it definitely feels, like a smooth, kind of like serum-y type of product. And I thought the color looked nice on me as well, but you can see right there just how sheer that product is. And a product that I had used to set my face while I was trying to get those breakouts under control is a new one from Wet n Wild, and I really like it. It's the Bare Focus Clarifying Finishing Powder. So it says it's got vegan collagen, tea tree, and vitamin E, but when you look on the ingredients, it also has some witch hazel in it, which is also known to kind of help with acne. And so I really think that this powder helped to clear up those breakouts quickly on my skin, because after I had that, I used this powder consistently to set the foundations that I was using. And I had a couple comments more recently saying that like foundation products and powders and stuff like that don't penetrate the skin. And I guess I just beg to differ on that, because products that sit on my skin, foundation or powder, can do many things that I notice on my skin, whether it's like a breakout or dryness or extra oiliness. It can do all of those things. It's a product that's sitting, you know, on my face at least for probably, I would say, 14 hours a day, you know, so it does affect my skin, the product that I put over top of it, whether it's a foundation or a powder. That's why I'm always really aware of the ingredients that are in those base products. But anyway, I really like this powder from Wet n Wild. I got the shade Fair Light. There's a total of 0.27 ounces of product, and this guy here is made in Mexico. So I actually got the Fair Light, and then I also purchased the translucent version, and I used the translucent version to set underneath my eyes, and it was a really beautiful set. But you know, and I wanted to experiment. That's why I did it. I kind of knew better. And I was right. It's just definitely a little bit too drying underneath my eyes. I did have a little extra dryness with this powder when I set my entire face. Granted, it is winter, but it has those, you know, kind of acne fighting ingredients that I feel like did a really good job of controlling those breakouts from that foundation. So for that reason, this is a product that I will grab for when I'm having troubles with my skin. And also the finish on the skin looked really, really pretty. I've used this one for, I want to say a week, like 6 or 7 times, right? And I hit pan on it, and I can see just in there how shallow the pan is. The size of the compact isn't very large either. Like, I just grabbed the Bare Minerals Original Mineral Veil. You can see how much smaller the pan size is compared to the Bare Minerals one, which I've got this on to set my face today because I definitely needed some hydration, and I got the breakouts under control, and this is really nice for my drier skin type, that Bare Minerals Pressed Mineral Veil. But I got through it really quickly, and I had to use a little bit more, I think, or I had to go into the pan to pick up the product to get a full set on my face. So I think that there's not a ton of product in here by the amount, and I think again that 0.27, which isn't a lot of product really, is more by weight instead of by volume, because again I hit pan on this super fast. So when I was in town yesterday, I bought another one, and I'm probably gonna use these more so in the summertime when my skin, if it does get a little bit more oily, or either to help control when I have a breakout issue. That's kind of how I'm going to use these. And then this here is going to be good just for kind of T-zone stuff, or to take down shine. I'll swatch it for what it's worth here. So this is the Fair Light shade, which is pretty light. And then the translucent one does have a little bit of a white cast to it, so that's just something to be aware of. There are some deeper shades as well, but I can't remember how many were available. Yeah, and it feels really nice to the touch as well. But there's the Fair Light, and there's the translucent there, just so you can kind of see for what it's worth there. But that's a nice powder. If you got really like oily skin with possibly, you know, some acne, I'd give this a try. And if you do, I would love to know how it went for you. I also got some Physicians Formula blushes, and I purchased 3 of them, and they're all new products to the line. I got the one called Miss Butterfly with this really cute packaging, and this has got 0.37 fluid ounces of product, which is quite a bit of product. And this guy's also made in Mexico, and it does say proceeds support Earth Day. So I had hauled the bronzer last week, which was also just okay for me. I wore it in that video and I thought it looked nice, but they're quite dusty, but they feel really creamy to the touch. And when I use this blush, which this is my kind of color, it's a warm baby pink, I thought I was just going to be kind of over the moon for it. But I had to layer it up just to even be able to see the color on my skin. And I didn't really care for that. It wasn't like vibrant like I was hoping that it would be. And all of these Physicians Formula products do have a pretty strong scent to them, so I do want to let you guys know that. It's kind of their standard kind of tropical coconutty scent. There's a slight variation in 2 of them, but they're along the same line. See, like this color, it looks like something that I would just love, but I remember I just had to keep going in and like building it up on the cheeks, and it just wasn't what I was hoping it to be. So it is a pretty pink color, but I didn't think that it applied very well on my skin. So that's the Physicians Formula Miss Butterfly blush from the Butter Buddies range. And then I also got another one that I feel the same way as that Butter Buddies. It's funny, Butter Buddies. And this one's the Butter Believe It blush, and this is a Muru butter blush, and there's 0.19 ounces of product. So this is more in their kind of older style packaging. It's thicker with a little brush in there. This guy is also made in Mexico. So the packaging is cute. And again, I thought this was going to be one of those really pretty, you know, warm baby pinks that I love. I just want to show you guys the little brush in there, which I never use. And I had to do the same thing with this one as I had to with the Butter Buddies blush. Just kind of really layer it up, and it was very hard to see on my skin. So I'm not crazy about this one either. I mean, when you get used to kind of using something like those Patrick Ta blushes, these are just really bland. Even for my fair skin, I was like, what the heck? So I'm not crazy about these two, but one I did get I really like, and that one is the Butter Blush in Mauve Matte, and this is one of the Matte Manoy butter blushes. They're really going for it on the butter stuff. And this one has 0.15 ounces of product in there, and this one is made in China, so it's made somewhere else, but it is my favorite one out of the three. And this has got really pretty packaging as well, so it's got that Manoy type of fragrance to it. And I really like the pretty flower motif in there. And this is not an overspray. I've used this quite a few times, and I've also swatched it, and it seems that the color is going all the way down, or at least the raised part of the flowers are going to retain those colors. I would have to use it quite a bit to hit that base color in there to know for sure. But this one's really pretty, and I got lovely color on the cheeks with this one. So this is my favorite out of them. It's got nice color. It was easy to blend out on the skin. It looked really pretty. You can kind of customize the color too if you wanted to avoid that deeper shade and get something a little bit lighter, like down here. You can do that as well. So that's kind of it without the deeper burgundy shade. So that one I really do like. And like I said, I've worn this one quite a few times, but these other two, they're lacking. So that guy there is the Mauve Matte Manoy Butter Blush from Physicians Formula right there. It's those two swatches. It's very pretty. I also got this Wet n Wild blush from their new it's like a spring launch. I don't know the official name from it, but this is the Bloomin' blush right here in Flower Power. It's got the pretty little flowers on the top, which it's a sticker, but it's still cuter than just being plain. It's got like this baby pink packaging on there. So this has got a total 0.21 ounces of product. I like the sleek packaging on here too. And this one is made in Mexico. And this has got a nice pigmentation to it. And it's got a satin with a bit of a sparkle to it, but not like really noticeable in your face shimmers. But there are some shimmers in there, but it's more subtle. It's like a satin shimmer type of finish. And it's very smooth, very soft. This also went on really easy, and it's got nice pigmentation to it too. I was going to get the quad, but I passed on it because one of the 4 shades was a pressed glitter, and I'm just like, not about that. So it's just a mauve pink, that guy right there. So that's the Flower Power blush right there from Wet n Wild. I also picked up this new Flower Chrome Crush Pressed Pigment, and the shade that I got is called Jade. So there's 0.1 ounces of product in here, and it is made in Korea. So this is Flower Beauty, which is Drew Barrymore's brand. Initially, I was going to grab like every shade, and I was like, just get one and see if you like it. And I'm glad that I only purchased the one because this is also lacking. I was expecting like really foily metallic like prettiness, and it's lacking for a pot like chrome eyeshadow. It feels a little bit more dry and like just kind of like a more standard pressed shadow. So it's pretty if it was a pressed eyeshadow, but it's supposed to be, you know, a Chrome Crush pressed pigment, and it's just lacking for me, so I'm not crazy about it, and I'm glad that I only got the one shade. So it comes in the pot packaging like this, and then there is a little stopper in there. Again, I got the shade Jade. I don't know. I was really thinking that this was just going to be more than what it was. It does have like a little bit of squish to it, but it doesn't feel like a cream at all. So I'm like really, you guys can see me trying to work some product to get it on my finger here. It's just really thin. It's got an okay shine to it, but it's just a very thin formulation that I thought was going to be, I thought it was going to pack a little more punch than it actually does. So that is the Flower Beauty Chrome Pigment in the shade Jade. Should I build it up a little bit, or try to? Like, when I try to pick up more product and get a little more pressure, then I end up getting some chunks in there. But I just wanted more pizzazz, and I wasn't getting a ton of pizzazz. Like, you can barely even see it on my hand there, but I grabbed some more to try to build it up here. I will say, however, that there are no noticeable like glitters or like noticeable shimmers in it. So if you like a shiny shadow without being too much and you like it more subtle, you might actually really like these. So you can see right there, that's kind of what it looks like. I wonder how it would look actually. You know what this reminds me of is the Chanel Camellia de Plume highlighter that came out years ago. It's got like this slight golden green undertone to it. Not noticeably green, but slight golden green. Jade, that's what this reminds me of. Maybe I should try it as a highlighter, and I'd like it more like that on the skin, because it actually looks really beautiful on my hand, but as performing as an eyeshadow, it just wasn't doing it. I'm going to try it as a highlighter. We'll do that. We'll do that tomorrow. I also finally got another one of the new Maybelline Superstay Activewear concealers. I originally purchased the shade number 1, and it was just too light for me. And so I was hoping to get another shade, which I finally did. But in the meantime, I had been mixing this Maybelline one with the Revlon Colorstay Skin Awaken. And I really, really like this concealer from Revlon. This is a beautiful concealer. So I was mixing it with that, and I hadn't been able to use it by itself because, again, I didn't have the shade right. So I went and I got the shade 10, which is a little bit deeper with cooler undertones, and I was able to use the concealer by itself finally, and it's just not that cute. I did not like any of the times that I wore this underneath my eyes. It's a very thin consistency, but it made my under eyes look dry, and it had very, very light coverage. So I'm glad that I was able to get another shade to get a better feel for this concealer, but not glad that I don't like it as much as I thought I liked it when I was mixing it with other concealers. So anyway, for what it's worth, I will swatch these. They're a very, very thin consistency. Which I really prefer a thin consistency, especially in a concealer underneath the eyes, but I don't like it when it looks like my skin is dry or kind of crepey-ish, which that's kind of what this concealer did for me. And then here's the shade number 10 right here. And it was almost like it was sucking the moisture out of my under eye area, which would be dry. I do have dry under eyes too. If you have really oily under eyes and you like a light coverage, I think that you might like this one. But I also had a little bit more difficulty blending this one out, and that I just wanted to mix them together because that's how I've been using it when I've used this, is mixing the 1 and the 10 together, and that set down really, really quickly. So I guess I would recommend this if you like a thin, light coverage concealer and you have got oily under eyes. Maybe give it a try, but not crazy about it, unfortunately. And then I placed another order on the Menagerie Cosmetics website because they restocked their Arthurine Polar Lights highlighters, and I got a backup for myself of the shade Aurora Australis, and then I bought my mom one because she was really wishing for this here. So I'll just swatch this one. So it is worth it to sign up for emails from Menagerie if these are out of stock. I haven't looked in the last couple days to see or not, but this is a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. So I love the other shade as well, but this is the one that I've been reaching for more so. And there isn't a super ton of product in these, 4 grams. So I wanted to get a backup of it, and they're also magnetized in the packaging, and the packaging itself is super, super cute. So I got that guy there from Menagerie in Aurora Australis, which is their highlighters. And then I wanted to get some of their liquid lipsticks. I had asked them on Instagram if they would make like good eyeliners, and they had a good dry down and wear time, and they replied back that yes, they are. And if you don't know, Menagerie is an indie brand that's based out of Washington, I believe. And so the Velvet Liquid lipsticks have got 0.088 fluid ounces of product in there, and the packaging is super cute. It's got the little fox on there. I got the shade Cricket, which is the black, and then I got Juniper, which is the green, Hyacinth, which is kind of a cool tone purple, and then I got Catfight, which is the red. And I've actually got a mixture of Cricket and Juniper, which is the green and the black, on my eyes today for my winged eyeliner. And it was like the light bulb went on when I got the split liners from Glisten Cosmetics that I use a lot. They're the water activated ones, and I want to be able to wear colored fun eyeliner throughout the summer, but I can't wear water activated ones being outside and stuff like that because my eyes water so bad. So that's where the liquid lipsticks come in, and I love these for eyeliner. Not only is the formula really thin and opaque, it glides on with a brush so nicely, and they wear very well. I have had some watery eyes being outside feeding and stuff like that, and I haven't had any smudging or anything, so I'm really excited about that. But the split liners from Glisten, I've got a bunch of them that I love that are split with a black. So the black deepens the colors into like a more definitive blackened shade of color, if that makes any sense. So I'm able to get that same effect by mixing these shades right here with the black. So I get like a deepened rich purple or a deepened rich like burgundy red color, and then the shade that I have on for a winged liner today, which is a really deep forest green shade. And I would say I like to use 2 parts of the color to 1 part of the black, and then I just put them on my hand and then mix them together and use a brush to apply them, and I have been loving that. I like these so much as eyeliner. I'm like, maybe I would actually love them for liquid lips as well, because I'm not a huge fan of liquid lipsticks in general, just for a comfort issue, but they even look like on my eyes as eyeliner. They look smooth on the skin as well for like my more kind of crepey dry eyelids. So this is the shade Cricket, which is the black right there. And then here's the shade Juniper, which is the green one. And a mixture of those two is what I have on for liquid liner today. And then this purple is the shade Hyacinth. There were some other shades that I really wanted to get to, but they were out of stock, which gets me to thinking I have a blue too. I purchased a blue shade too. It's not in my pile. I will find it. I need to swatch the blue one as well, because that's super pretty by itself, and then also mixed in with the black. But here's the shade Catfight, which is the red. It's like a cherry red almost. But see, like in one like swipe, just how opaque those are. This is what the packaging looks like too, if you were interested in that. Okay, the blue one that I have is the shade Mako, or Mako, M-A-K-O. And this one, like I said, I can wear this one by itself and it looks really pretty, and I also love to mix it with the black. But for the most part, I like to mix these 3 in the middle with the black when I wear them. But love these for eyeliners. They're really pretty. The finish on them is really pretty too. Like I said, it doesn't look like super drying or anything like that. It almost makes my liner look smooth, if you will. So these are awesome from Menagerie Cosmetics, and those are the liquid lipsticks that I like to use for eyeliner. And there's the highlighter right there. And then I also purchased some more of the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip liners. I got 2 more shades because I love the other ones so much. And these are a sharpened wooden style pencil, which I also really like. So there's 0.053 ounces of product in these pencils, and they are made in the Czech Republic. So the 2 new shades that I got are Baby Roses, which is just a super light nude, but it's still definitive while being really light nude. So I think that if you're any deeper than maybe me, this would be a little bit too light for your liking, but I'm able to make it work. So this is the shade Baby Roses. It's a warm light nude. And then I also got the shade Hazelnut, which I've got on my lips today with the lipstick that I also purchased from Anastasia Beverly Hills Nude Lipsticks. And the lipstick that I bought goes perfectly with either one of these, to be honest. But if you want a little bit more definition, I wore the hazelnut today. So that's Baby Roses and Hazelnut. And then I will go ahead and swatch the other two shades that I have just so you can see them all together. My most worn has kind of been the Deep Taupe shade, which is just another really good nude. These are all nudes, pretty much. So there's Deep Taupe right there. And Deep Taupe's got just a hair more pink in it than the Hazelnut shade. And then the other shade that I've got is Sunbaked, which is even a little bit more, kind of a warmer pinkiness to it. Yeah, well, I don't want to say an orangey. Yeah, it's kind of like a light orangey pink. They're showing up very true in the viewfinder. So that one is Sunbaked, and I just wanted you guys to be able to see them all together there. But these are really lovely pencils from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And then I also got one more of her new lipsticks, and I got the shade Warm Peach, this is another one of the satins, and I've got that on with the hazelnut lip liner as well. And these lipsticks are so nice. They almost look like you have a gloss on, because they have like just such a nice shine to them. So this is the fourth one that I think that I've gotten. And again, it goes really well with either of the two lip liners that I bought. But it's this combination right here that I have on my lips today. But for even less definition, but still defining, it works with Baby Roses too. Actually, I think this lipstick would work with all of them. I think it would just, pull the lipstick shade with whatever lip liner that you use. So that's the Warm Peach lipstick right there from Anastasia Beverly Hills. She's got nice packaging too. It's a snap closure like that. I also purchased the new Milani Gilded Flora eyeshadow palette. So this one's got 0.32 ounces of product, or 9 grams, across 15 shades, which is not a ton of product that you're getting per shade. And this palette is made in Taiwan, so it's the cardboard packaging. And I want to say that this is part of their spring launch. And I have got all of the 15 pan palettes that Milani has done like this, and I've gotten along with them pretty well. I thought that they were pretty decent at the drugstore. Granted, these are getting quite expensive. At Walmart, I think this was $14, but I think at Target they're a little bit more money. Anyway, the mattes are quite thin and dusty in this one, and I kept having to like pack and blend to try to get it to look seamless. And then the shimmers are really pretty, but I also had a hard time trying to get them to adhere. When I went in with an extra coat after I put the mattes down of primer on the lid and then went in with the shimmer, I got them to look prettier, but I was surprised that I had to work a little bit harder at this palette than I would have liked. Granted, there are some pretty light pastel shades in here, but this was really quite lackluster for me. And I was surprised by it, because again, I got along with, for the most part, I got along with most of the other ones that they've done like this, but I don't know, the formula just feels like thinner and like a little bit drier. So hopefully you can tell in the swatches whether or not it's something you would like to pick up. I find that the deeper shades in this palette outperformed all the lighter ones. Then we got right here in both the shimmer and the matte formula. The deeper shades were nicer. And these last three. So there are the swatches right there of the Milani Gilded Flora eyeshadow palette. Right there. It's this guy. And then Ace Beaute finally restocked their Tropical Vibes eyeshadow palette, which I was lusting over this palette something fierce because it's really grungy greens. There's also some really bright ones in there too, but this is made in the PRC, and there's a total of 0.84 ounces of product, or 24 grams across 15 shades, so you're getting a ton of product in here. This is what the outside looks like, and then here is the back of the actual palette. Here's the box. I don't know if you guys can read that or not. And this is my 4th Ace Beaute palette that I've purchased. And I will say that the cardboard packaging on my other palettes is kind of starting to warp. I had them kind of stacked off to the side right here because I didn't want to put them away like in the collection just yet because I was using them. So I wanted to make mention of that, but I just wanted to show you the corners of the Oceanic palette that I have. So they're lifting on the sides. So what I did was try to smash it in between larger palettes to kind of push the corners back in. But I just wanted to mention it. I don't like it when my packaging warps, and I've gotten my other 3 palettes from the brand, which they're not that old either. They're all warping kind of like that Oceanic one that I just showed you guys. Anyway, I just wanted to make you aware. This one I just got and it's fine. No issues as of yet, but the colors in here are just absolutely stunning. It is kind of a pairing palette for me in that there aren't really any highlighter shades in here. This color here is, I could probably make it work, but it's just a little bit too deep on for that brightness that I need on my skin tone. There are 3 really foily shimmers, which are this guy, this guy, and this guy, and then all the other shades are matte. They're very pigmented. They blend out quite nice. Really nice quality in terms of the eyeshadow. There's no problems there, and I love the color story. These like grungy greens are just, even this like acid kind of green, super pretty. It was out of stock for quite some time. It sold out, I think, really quickly when they originally launched it, but there are the first 4, and then these next ones. And then these guys, I love this color. This color with that kind of mustardy one. Oh, this guy here is kind of like coming out of nowhere. Like this kind of rusty shade with all these greens. And then these last 3 shades. So pretty. Beautiful colors though, really beautiful colors in here. So that's the Ace Beaute, what is it called? Tropical Vibes eyeshadow palette right there. I also got 2 products from the brand Joah, Joah, which is actually a Korean makeup brand that they sell at CVS. And I have had pretty good luck with everything that I've tried from the brand. So I got, this has got to be new because the last time I was in CVS, I did not see it. So I think it's a newer product to the range. And it's the Eye Serum Concealer with ceramides and peptides. So there's 0.20 ounces of product in here. It's one of those click style ones with the spongy on the end. What I like to do is I like to click it and just kind of smush it on the back of my hand. For whatever reason, I don't like to apply it directly to the skin on the sponge each time. It's a thing. And this is actually the concealer that I have underneath my eyes today, and I really like it. My mom got this as well and she likes it. It feels almost like a kind of like an eye cream, but it has a decent coverage. I would say it's a light coverage. The consistency is thin, but it feels really good. It blends out really nice and it does a nice job of kind of brightening. Again, it's what I have underneath my eyes and I think it looks really nice. So I got the lightest shade that has the cool undertones, and this is Very Fair with Cool Undertones FC010. And when I set it, it just looked really pretty underneath the eyes. So I'm glad that I picked that up. I haven't used it long enough to know, you know, whether or not it's like super hydrating or super drying. I just know that my eyes right now don't feel dry and they look nice and bright and they feel nice, if that makes sense. So this is a pretty nice product so far. And then I also got the Airlight Soft Powder Blush, and this has got a total of 0.15 ounces of product. I got the shade Warm Poppy, and this is a beautiful little blush from the brand, and I want to say it was like $3.99 or something like that. Just a really pretty pop of coral. It blended out nice. It's got nice pigmentation to it, and it's super affordable. So I'm happy with both of these products that I got from Joah. So that's the Warm Poppy right there. I also bought a couple products from the new Revolution and the Lion King collaboration because when I was younger, it was all about the Lion King. I loved the Lion King. Everybody like my age back in the day was all about the Lion King, and it just was very, it was just really nostalgic for me. So I did get 3 eyeshadow palettes, and I got one of the highlighters, but the only product that I've worn so far is this one right here, so that's why I'm going to show you this one. And this formulation is got the mineral oil in it, which isn't, I'm not the most crazy about the Revolution with the mineral oil in it, but it's not a bad formulation by any means. It's just sometimes, mostly in the summertime, that mineral oil can kind of start to melt. And then too, when you pick them up with a brush, because of that mineral oil, it can feel a little stiff. And that's just the nature of the ingredient, to be honest, at least my experience with a lot of formulations that have it in there. But I am actually wearing this palette on my eyes today, and I think that the look turned out super pretty. The mattes are pigmented and they blended really well. It's not the easiest thing to blend a teal with an orangey brown, which is what I did, and I think that it turned out really nice. Could the blend be a little bit better? Yeah, but that's the kind of the nature of trying to mix those two colors together. But I really think that it turned out nice again. So this one here is the Jungle Princess palette. It's got Nala on the front, and there is a total of 0.24 ounces across 9 shades, and this guy is made in China. So it's a cardboard packaging, and it's super cute because you've got all the little characters kind of shadowed in there underneath the mirror. And this is a standalone for me. I was able to use just the shadows that were in this palette, and it turned out really nice, I think. So we've got one shimmer that's got a lot of sparkle to it, which is this blue, and that's the blue that I have on the inner portion. And then the other 3 shimmers, which are these 2 and this purple, are that more stiff shimmer formula. This one's a little more flaky because it's got more sparkle to it, and then these shades are matte. So hopefully you can see in the swatches whether or not it's something you're going to want to pick up. But I seen the display in Target when I was there yesterday. So yeah, I just got these products, so that's why I've only been able to wear just the one. You can definitely feel like, especially when I swatch them, that mineral oil in there. It's a heavier ingredient, if you will. And these guys... But on a lighter note, I think these are $8, and they were having a sale on the Makeup Revolution website, 25% off, I think. And I was able, this is blending into my skin a lot. I was able to price match. So I think I got these for $6.50. And again, the look I think turned out super pretty for $6.50 in this cute nostalgic Lion King packaging, okay? Yeah, the swatches don't look that impressive, to be honest with you, but again, I like the look that came out of it, and this is what I have gotten on my eyes today. So that is the Makeup Revolution Jungle Princess palette right there. It's like a pastel-y spring kind of color story. And that's everything that I have for you guys that I purchased. And then I did get in one PR package, and it was from Wayne Goss and Beautylish because he extended his Weightless Veil blush palettes and also came out with 2 new lipsticks. So they sent them over to me, and I really do love his Veil blush palettes. There's one in particular that I use quite a bit. And then his lipstick formulation almost feels like it's so comfortable and hydrating on the lips. It almost feels like a lip balm, but it's definitely a lipstick because of how much pigmentation it has, but it's that comfortable on the lips. And it also looks like you might have a gloss on because of the shine that it has. But I'll start off with those lipsticks first. They're both pretty deep shades. They're not like daily wears for me, maybe something that I'd reach for more in the fall time. But the 2 new shades are Iris and Poppy. So the box packaging is a silver, and these have got A total of 0.11 ounces of product, and they are made in Canada. And his packaging is like it feels almost like an aluminum with a coating on it. I think it is an aluminum with a coating on it, actually. And then it's a click style. So this first one is the shade Iris, which I was taking pictures of this stuff, and poor Iris went bullet down into the carpet, and I was like, no, because all my animals, you know, and so I was like, spent a decent amount of time cleaning up the bullet after it biffed it on the carpet. So poor little Iris here. So I'm going to swatch that one first. So this is the shade Iris right here. It's like a brick rose color. You can see that shine in there. And then here is the shade Poppy, which is a little bit more rich than Iris. And I would say it, you know, I would say it has got, it's a little bit deeper, but in the same family, but just a little bit deeper, to be honest with you. So Iris is just a little bit lighter, and then Poppy's a little bit more deep with maybe just a slight bit more brown in it. But those are the two new lipsticks right there. And then for the Weightless Veil blush palettes, which these things come with such a massive amount of product in here. There's a total of 19 grams or 0.67 ounces of product across two shades. So you're getting a lot of highlighter and a lot of blush. And I really like the pan sizes too, because you can really fit a big fluffy brush in there as well. So he came out with two new ones of this. And the one that I have got on my cheeks today is the Dusty Rose. I've got the highlighter on, and I've also got the blush on, and these here are made in Canada, so it's got his standard kind of packaging that he has come out with. So this is the number 5 and 6 that he's come out with in the duo cheek ranges for highlighters and blushes. So again, this is the one that I have on my cheeks today. So this is a really golden shade. I was worried that it was going to be too deep, but I think it blends out on the skin really nice. And because of that golden undertone, it's going to be one that I reach for probably a lot in the summertime. And then here is the blush, which I would say it's got a satin matte finish to it. It's really, really pretty with some warmth to it. Again, this is the duo that I have got on my cheeks today, both highlighter and blush. So that one there is the Sweet Wildflower. I don't think I told you the name of it. So that's Sweet Wildflower right there. And then the other one is called Desert Blossom. And these ones are more pink toned. They look really light in the pan, but they do show up on the skin. And like this here has got just a very, very slight undercast on my lighter skin. So if I buff it out a lot, it looks super pretty paired with that blush, but I'll reach for this probably more in the summer as well, because again, for the winter time, it does have just got a little bit of undercast on my skin tone, which like you wouldn't tell by just looking at it. And the pink blush is beautiful. I love the blush in this one too. Same finishes in both of these. I like swatch those opposite. So there's the blush and there is the highlighter. You can see how pretty that shine is on there. So that one is Desert Blossom. And then I wanted to reference the two new ones against the 4 older ones as well. So the Coral Rose is probably my most used, most worn duo out of the bunch. I love this one. It's just super, super easy. So this is Coral Rose right here. And the highlighter doesn't have an undercast on me, and the pink is a little bit more punchy. Yeah, you can see that right there. I almost liked this, like when I blended that highlighter down onto the blush when I used that Desert Rose duo, it like had this really pretty glow. So I'm probably going to use that more so as a blush topper together with that blush. It looked really stunning that day that I wore it, but it had a little bit of undercast higher on the cheek. So there is the Coral Rose against the two new ones. And then we've got Bright Poppy, which I do love the blush in this one. It's a nice punch of coral. So when I've used this one, I've actually enjoyed mixing the two together to get a punchy, bronzy coral blush out of it, because the highlighter adds some shine to the blush. So that one there is Bright Poppy. And then we've got Blush Peony, which is another kind of bright pink blush. And then this has got a duochrome of a pink. And the highlighter in this one, for whatever reason, I think it's the nature of probably a duochrome lighter pigment, because I've got a lot of white-based duochrome pink highlighters that feel like this. So I think it's probably more so to do with the ingredients, but this one's just a little less smooth in terms of the highlighter. But it's still pretty once you can kind of see right there. It's very pretty though when you buff it into the skin. So that one there is Blush Peony, and that highlighter is definitely light enough for my skin tone as well. And then the last one is Vivid Azalea, and this one here looks like a white too, but this has got a strong like gold duochrome to it that's really pretty. I can actually get away with that one as a highlighter on my skin too. And then because the pan size is so big, if I want a really punchy pink blush, I can go into this with a really like larger fluffy brush to dust it on my cheeks without having it be too much, because it's quite pigmented, the pink in this one. So this one is Vivid Azalea. I love that highlighter in this one too. So there are the swatches of all of his duos just for comparison purposes. So you can definitely see the new ones are more natural style compared to the ones that he released already. And a huge thank you to Wayne and Beautylish for sending those over. And that is everything that I have for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.